Hello everybody, this is Zoe from No Safer Place. And on Tuesday I went to see But I'm a Cheerleader. Now this was part of the taster menu of MT Fest. Now if you're not aware of what MT Fest is, it promotes new musical theatre. So there were 8 new musicals. Each one had 45-minute excerpts from it. And as I say, the one that I went to see was But I'm a Cheerleader, and the cast in it was absolutely insane. I'm pretty sure it sold out in like half an hour or something, because I booked my tickets just after they went on sale. I checked back like 15 minutes later and it said they were all gone. So they sold super quick, and I am not surprised because let me read you off this cast list. Bronte Barbie, Luke Bayer, Carrie Hope Fletcher, Ben Forster, Matt Henry, Jamie Moscato. So yeah, this cast was absolutely epic. So of course I had to book tickets straight away. They were £12.50 for one or 2 for £20. So I bought 2. I've never been to anything like this before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was also aware that it was a film, but I haven't seen the film. So apart from reading the synopsis online that the other palace provided, I really had no idea what this show was about. Obviously, if you've been following my channel for a while, you will know that I'm a huge fan of Carrie and Jamie, so I just had to see it. So I went on Tuesday. I came out at around 7 o'clock and I was on such a high. I got on the train home and I literally took so many notes. I didn't want to forget anything, so like I literally wrote so much. And I think the main thing that I took away from this was I couldn't believe that they'd only had 12 hours to rehearse this, because it was absolutely amazing. If you're not sure what these 45-minute taster menu sessions are like, there is no set, there's no staging, there's nothing like that. It is basically just a group of actors standing on the stage with a folder or some kind of script and acting it out alongside a 3-piece band I think we had yesterday. There were a lot of songs in there which I absolutely loved. And it was a really small, intimate theatre. It was at the studio at the other palace, so not the main theatre, but the one downstairs in like the basement type area. And there must have been only about 100 of us in there. It was really intimate, which I loved. I got there an hour early just so I could be front row, and I was just like front row, centre stage. I will insert some photos here of how close I was and what the venue was like, just so you can get a feel of it when I'm talking about it. So the premise of the story, from what I got from this 45-minute excerpt, is that it is about a teenage girl called Megan. She is 17 years old and she has this picture perfect life. She has an incredibly hot boyfriend. She is obviously a cheerleader. She is popular, everyone loves her, that kind of picture perfect life. And then everyone around her suddenly suspects that she is a lesbian, and they suspect this for really stereotypical reasons that obviously nowadays in society a lot of us don't have, so it is very tongue-in-cheek. Yes, she is suspected of being a lesbian, and her parents and her friends and her boyfriend send her to this camp called True Directions to straighten herself out. So it is kind of like this rehabilitation camp to knock the gay out of her. And this trip kind of has the opposite effect on what it is supposed to have. So there are obviously a lot of homosexuals there, gays and lesbians. But because Megan hasn't quite discovered herself yet and isn't ready to embrace her sexuality, it seems like she really has a journey, and her character arc, even in the 45 minutes that we saw, was massive. Now obviously I don't know much more of the plot besides that, because I went in really blind. I mean, now I'm definitely going to watch the film and get caught up with it because I feel like I've missed a lot. But I'd say it's definitely a coming of age comedy about finding out who you are, embracing who you are and loving yourself, which I think is such an important message, especially in today's society. So let's get on with the cast, shall we? Now, apart from Jamie, who I knew I'd love, a lot of my favourite characters weren't the characters that I was expecting, which was crazy. Now, whilst I'm talking about Jamie, let's talk about him first. So Jamie played 2 roles in this, and they were 2 very different roles. He played Jared, who was Megan's boyfriend at the beginning of the show. And he also played Rock, who was the headmistress's son at True Directions. So he played this super straight guy who loved girls, was a bit of a sleazebag, a little bit of a horn dog, and yeah, he was a right jock. And then Rock, his other character, was this really camp, obviously gay guy, but that's the funny part about it, because he's the headmistress's son and she is completely oblivious to the fact that he is gay, which I found totally hilarious. And yeah, they were two completely opposite characters and he smashed both of them so much. Obviously, I've only ever seen him as JD in Heathers, and I've also seen like some clips online of him as Anthony in Sweeney Todd, and I just cannot get over how diverse he is. I am just blown away by his talent every single time I see him. I was just sitting at the front row just in complete awe of him. I have never really had that with an actor where I've just looked at them and thought, wow, you're amazing. So yeah, obviously Jamie was the standout role for me. I think that was a given. Before I went in there, I knew he would absolutely smash it. I'd seen a few photos and yeah, I was really excited to see him, and he definitely did not disappoint. I wasn't really sure how he'd be at pulling off a jock, but he was so good. There is a particular bit at the beginning where Megan is singing the opening number and he is literally just like eating her face and like biting her ear and just being a horn dog. He just did it so well. I'm in love with him. And I can't wait to see what he does next. I really hope that this gets picked up by the West End and he's in it, because that would be a treat. His voice is just out of this world. He's probably got my favourite voice out of anyone ever. So I'm really excited for the Heathers musical to be released soon. I know that I've just like rambled about Jamie for a good few minutes here, so hopefully I'll cut some of this out and you haven't just been bored to death by Jamie Moscato talk. I'm going to talk about some more characters now. Dolph was played by Connor Lewis, and I didn't know there were guest student performers in these productions. I got the programme and saw the list of cast and saw that quite a few of them were student performers, which I was blown away by, because you honestly wouldn't know that. They were absolutely sensational, and Connor was one of my favourites. As I say, he played Dolph, and Dolph was like this really butch masculine guy who was good at wrestling, and his dad seemed like an also macho type. So you can imagine how well that was taken by his family that he was gay. So obviously he was sent to True Directions 2, and there was a song that he sang. Obviously I don't know the song names, but he sang this song about wrestling and I honestly started crying. I felt like such an idiot, but I really got teared up because obviously he's a wrestler, but the song was about wrestling, not just physically, but also wrestling inside with who you are and being scared to embrace yourself. But he wasn't going to do that anymore. He was tired of wrestling and he was just gonna love who he was and be proud of who he was. And I can feel myself tearing up now, because there was a point in my life where I felt like that just before I came out as bisexual. So I really related to this song. And yeah, I thought it was beautiful, and Connor Lewis, you are friggin' amazing. So I spoke a little bit earlier about the character arc of Megan, who is played by Bronte Barbe. So obviously when she starts, she is this ultra sweet, ultra innocent, really goody two-shoes type character. And when she goes to True Directions and she finds people that are like her, and she really starts to find herself and find who she is and the things that she enjoys doing, not just what society expects you to do, but what she wants to do. And I think that is a big part of the plot, because there are a lot of emphasis on stereotypes and how girls should like pink and boys should like blue, and how boys should like hunting and how girls should be doing makeup. And as I say, that's all very tongue-in-cheek and done really hilariously. But yeah, this play is about saying, you know what, fuck that. We can be whoever the hell we want to be, we can like whatever the hell we want to like, and that is okay. They played about 5 or 6 songs, I don't know, I don't have like a song list or anything, but oh my god, that music was absolutely insane. I am already vying for an original soundtrack because I need to hear those songs every day of my life. So I remember that the first song was about being 17. The struggles that you go through as a teen. So everyone else that is singing is talking about how hard it is, how awful it is, all the pressures that you go through, and Megan is just in the middle saying how fantastic it is and how much she loves it. And yeah, I found the first song really funny, and I really enjoyed it. I just thought, for a cast that had only performed this twice and only had 12 hours of rehearsals, was absolutely mind-blowing. I cannot imagine what this could be like with weeks of rehearsals and proper staging and lighting and music and costumes. My mind is blown. I really hope this is picked up by the West End or somewhere in London, because please, I need to see this multiple times. It is so freaking good. So Jamie sang a song as Jared with one of Megan's old friends from school, because they were part of the reason that she was sent away to this True Directions place, and they suddenly thought, maybe we have sent her here and maybe she is not actually a lesbian. Maybe we've done something wrong, we've thought about this too soon, and there was a whole song about that. And that was also really funny. I love Jared. I don't know why, but whenever I watch plays, I always prefer the jock, and I'm not like that in real life usually at all, but I think because they're usually the most dense and usually the funniest, I was living for that song. It was really funny. So touching briefly on Carrie and Bronte, they played Graham and Megan, who are the two main females in it. And because we didn't obviously get to see the whole of Act 1, we couldn't really see their relationship progress as much as I would have liked. But the ending was left on such a cliffhanger with them about to go into a gay bar, and I was so excited. And that was like the real turning point for Megan, when she realized, sod this, I'm just going in there, I'm going to embrace who I am, and I'm going in there with Graham. And it was a beautiful moment. Carrie sang a song as Graham, which was absolutely amazing. Her voice just continues to astound me every time I see her. I'm just blown away by how brilliant her voice is. But I thought Megan and Graham were both brilliant characters, and honestly, if that whole cast just stayed the same, I would be extremely happy, but a girl can dream. And then someone else I need to talk about is Matt Henry. I had never seen him live before, never seen him in a play or anything, so I was super excited because I know that he's really successful, and I've heard so many good things about him, and he did not disappoint. Wow. He played Mike, and he was like a counsellor type person who started the intervention to send Megan to True Directions. And the song where they are telling her that they're sending her away, when he sings that, it is absolutely magnificent. I just was astounded as to how soft and smooth his voice was. I just looked at him like, wow, how have I not seen you before? I wish I had a list of all the songs, because I would love to go through each one and tell you all the things that I loved about them. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I wish I could see it again, but obviously the tickets sold out straight away. But I wish I'd got multiple days, because I could watch this again and again and again and never get bored. Now, if you're not a fan of sex or crudeness or anything like that, I wouldn't suggest you go and see this, because I feel like it was tamed down a little bit for the taster session. But I love stuff like that. I find it really funny. I couldn't stop laughing when literally just in front of me there was a guy giving another guy a blowjob. Obviously not literally, but it was made to look that way. And yeah, it was definitely my kind of humour. It was really funny, it was really light-hearted, but I think most of all it just had a really important message. And I think even in that 45 minutes, that message was conveyed so well. And please someone pick it up so I can see this, because already I am so excited about it. This video is already 20 minutes long, and I feel like I've missed out so much and I have so much more to say. But yeah, the music was fantastic, lyrics were incredible, the acting was obviously sensational, story was obviously fantastic. And just to be that close to two of my favourite actors of all time, Jamie and Carrie, I am so happy. I came out of there with a massive smile on my face, and it's the day after and it still hasn't gone away yet. So it's actually the end of the day, and I had just started to edit, so I may look a little bit tired because I've been into London and watched another play and just come home. But I did miss out one thing that I really wanted to talk about. There was someone in one of the guest student performers called Jessie Andrel. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. I'm sorry if it's wrong, but I didn't realise that she was a student performer, and she was absolutely amazing. Like, her voice was out of this world, and yeah, I just had to record a little bit extra just to say how much I loved her and how great her performance was. Yeah, she was fantastic, and I can't wait to see what she does next. I haven't had a chance to see any of the other musicals at MT Fest, but now that I'm more aware of it and how it is, I think next year I'm going to get tickets to all of them and see them all, because I need more of this kind of thing in my life. If you saw But I'm a Cheerleader or any of the other plays in the taster menu, please let me know, because I'd love to talk about them and see which ones you're excited about. And fingers crossed that this gets picked up fairly soon. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see more of on my channel, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.